It looks like we're live. We're in action, ready to rock. It's good. It's good. It's going to be a warm one tonight, guys. EDDBUD here. This is our 5th live stream. 5th? 15th even. It's that hot, I just can't count anymore. Yeah, 15th live stream today. Hope you've all had a fantastic day. We got loads of people in the chat already. Who we have? Well, Joanne was here a long time ago, back at 4 minutes to 6. But we got Frank Lahoulier. He's been listening to Idols. I've been listening to loads of Idols over the last couple of days, actually. I had that sort of feeling I needed to vent some sort of pent-up aggression and frustrations, I suppose. Joe Mullins in the house. We've got DTD 3CEBU. He says, hey, any tips on runner's toe? I'm not sure. I guess he means sort of like a bruised toenail. I've got a couple of those right now. Real doozies, actually. They don't look good, my feet, right now. Who we got? We got, so Joe Mullins here. Stevie76 is in the house. He's always here. Ewan Booth. How you doing, Ewan? We've got Ash. We've got Alan Chadbone is here. The man himself. Soti is here. We've got Adam Small, James Nash, Defelde is here, Kevin Scott is here, the Reebok master. Toffer A says maybe it's COVID toe, let's hope not. We got Thomas is here, and Joe is here too, and Mike Gambert from over in Tennessee. It's the friendly neighbourhood EDDBUD is in the house. I'm just going to have another quick drink. It's really, really hot in the studio right now. I don't know what's happened today. When I went out on my run this morning, I was aiming for nice and slow pace this morning. I went out in the shoe avalanche there. I went out in the 37s again. I want to try and get these up to 100 miles. I'm toying around with doing a 100 mile collaborative review with Andy, the FOD runner, because I know he's getting up there towards 100 miles. So I want to try and get some more miles into this one. I'm finding it really great as a mock kind of trail shoe. It's just got a bit more about it. It's a bit more built up than I really want. And there's just so much outsole there. It's working really well as a trail shoe. When I went out earlier on, it was maybe about 15, 16 degrees. It wasn't particularly warm. And as the days got on, it's just got warmer and warmer. And it's just really humid now. And I've just been feeling really sort of stuffy and it's a nasty feeling. I'm not into it. Who have we got here? We've got Roadrunner Views are in the house. The Blue Lizard Artist is here. Best shoe channel on YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. There's some seriously good YouTubers and shoe tubers out there, but I do really appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. Kevin Burmaster is here. He's running whilst listening to Ed. What more do you want? Triumph 17 time. Awesome, buddy. Look at that. Kevin Burmaster up to 370 miles on the Triumphs. They're a good shoe. They're always going to hang in there. I know Alan really enjoys the Triumph 17 as well. He says, how am I finding the two Saucony Endorphins? I'm really liking the Pro and I'm really liking the Speed. I've got to be honest, there's not an awful lot in it between those two shoes. There is not much. I am going to have a comparison of that one possibly next week. I want to get the Endorphin Pro up to over 50 miles so I can give a sort of a better race shoe kind of review on that one. Kyle B says, hey Ed, just did 15 kilometers out of the box on the Run Fast 2s. Thank you for the recommendation. Value. What a great midsole. Yeah, I really like those and many people do, Kyle. I'm glad you managed to pick those up. A underrated shoe and very good value. Alan says, have I seen the colour schemes of the Triumph 18? Yes, I really like the red. There's a red one, I believe. Red and yellow colourway. That one's kind of nice. Although I've got a whole batch of red shoes right now, so I need to perhaps move into something else. I might just go for the, the old Kafuzi colourway on that one again. I kind of like the Triumph in that kind of understated vibe. Kevin Scott says, has the Mizuno Wave Rider 24 piqued my interest? Kevin, I was going to go out and check out the 24, and then I realised that the Clifton 7 had been released as well. It's just an insane time for running shoes right now. There's so many. I mean, Boston 9. Look at the pink, ridiculously pink nature of that shoe. What I've done is when I do the live streams, I adjust the picture profile so that it's a more kind of standard mobile camera picture profile, and I'm just looking at it on the screen and it's ridiculously pink. So I've got to get some miles into that. I've got to get some miles into the Adizero Pro, which I really, really love. What a great shoe. I don't know if you guys follow me on Strava. If you do, head over there. You can check out where I've been doing those 10-mile tests of the shoes to give them a proper test. 10 miles is a pretty reasonable amount to run in a shoe to get a good feel for how the shoe is. And with that one, I think it enabled me to go at a certain pace. It worked with my running style. It just all kind of came together with that shoe. And it was one I was going to sleep on if it wasn't for Martin, who was in the chat with the super chat. Martin, I do appreciate that. It's really, really kind of you. That goes towards a bit of the price of the Adizero Pro. But buddy, I really appreciate that, and thanks for getting me to check out the Adizero Pro. I would have slept on it. What a beautiful shoe. Is that not one of the most beautiful shoes you've ever seen? If you're a sort of football fan, certainly UK football fan, a bit of one of the casuals, you would have loved the Samba suedes back in the 90s. That's what it reminds me of. What a beautiful shoe. So thank you again, Martin, with this super chat. What do we have here? There's lots and lots and lots and lots of people in the chat now. Joe says, I hope he gets warm as he's just got his Halo headband. Awesome, Joe. It will help you out. I went running in one of my Nike caps this morning, and I realised that actually the headband is reducing my temperature just a little bit, and I think it's enabling me to hit some higher paces. Where I've been running in the hat, I just boil after a while. I just get too hot. I'm like a boil in the bag, EDDBUD. Maxio is in the house. How you doing? Mark Smith says, old unflip bloke just back from a progressive 10k, a third consecutive evening of running. Awesome. Not used to this. I think that's good. Keep getting out there, Mark. That's fantastic. I had a quick look today to update you on that run streak. I think I'm on 70 days now. I think it was 70, or maybe just over 70 days. So I'm going to keep it going to 100 and see how I feel. I might just make it before when the baby's due. So I'll just get to 100. So Soti says, reacts great for trail, just wish the Peg Trail 2 was a bit lighter. Yeah, I'm going to probably sleep on that one. It's just too heavy for me. I think that the 37s will probably do the trick in terms of the trail that I've got access to here. Wang's in the house, how you doing? Good to see you. Alan says he managed to get out and run the Overton Summer Series last night. I got to run the old course. Awesome. I need to go down and do that one on a quiet night or something, Alan. For those of you who don't know, near to us, Alan's one of the Oval Town road runners as well. Near to us we've got a road 5k series that normally happens between like April or May? April or May through to October, and they run one every month. A really nice, quite flat, quite straight 5k course, and it's really good for personal best. So Mr. Awesomeness is here, finally catching another stream. Good to have you here. Who have we got? Christopher Kogan Howe. He says, hey Ed, which shoe would you pick as an all-rounder, the Turbo 2 or the Speed? I would go right now with the Speed. I think it presents slightly better value than the Turbo 2, which is a slightly lighter shoe, but I think the Speed will handle greater distances than the Turbo 2. I know some people have worn the Turbo for like a marathon or something, but for me personally, it just does start to bottom out a little bit after about 10 miles. So that would be the peak sort of distance I want to do in the Turbo 2. I think the Speed's got a little bit more about it. If you can find one, of course. It's a bit like the A-Team, Sotti says, have I heard of Angelo de Agustin? I've not heard of that person. I'll have to check them out. I'll go back in on the chat, Sotti, and check that out. Let's see if we can answer some of the questions here. So Ewan says, Ed, do you take any pre or post workout for running? Yes. I always try to rehydrate quickly after I've got back, and then get some sort of snack in as well. Banana or just something quick that I can get some fuel back in the body. And then I always make sure I stretch and do a little warm down afterwards. And I warm up as well. That's the chief thing. Making sure I do some stretching, warming up. Some dynamic stretching. Nothing too heavy, nothing too hard. Just making sure I'm ready so I can hit the ground running, as it were. Kev Burmas says Saucony is a brand of the year. Certainly is, Kev. I thoroughly agree there. They certainly can do no wrong. They're really hitting it out the park. The only one I haven't tried is the Shift. There's quite a lot of daily shoes coming up soon. I want to try the Clifton 7 from Hoka. I haven't tried a Hoka shoe for a little while, so it'd be good to get another one of those in and give that a whirl. So might sleep on the Shift, but I think some of my other colleagues have done some good reviews on that one already. Juan says, hey Ed, take on the new Cloud Boom. I was just having a quick look at, is it Road Trail Run? That chap that does the reviews where you never see him, you just see the shoe and on a fence or something like that. There's some good reviews though. You seem to be partly interested in that one. I'd need to read a bit more about it. I'm not a huge fan of On. I did try a couple of On shoes out in store and on a treadmill, and they didn't quite do what I needed them to do. They felt a little odd to me. Alan says, must run out of storage space for shoes. Alan, that's never going to happen. That will never happen, Alan. Kevin Scott, so many shoes, so little time. Yeah, I need like a clone or something that I can send out. Maybe I can send Beast out with some shoes and see how she gets on. I do need someone else to start testing some shoes out so I can get some additional opinion and views about some of the shoes. Steve A is here. How you doing, Steve? Good evening, Ed. He says, tonight's 7 mile run was as steamy as the shoe sanctuary. Oh yeah, it's like that tonight, Steve. It is very, very warm. Not quite as warm as that other night. I've got to say, guys, it was so hot I had to just get in and have a cold shower after that one. That was very warm. Martin says he loves the colour of the current Adidas lineup. Yeah, there's some really nice colours. I think you can just see behind me there. Look at that. That array of beauty. Some great stuff there. I'm really enjoying them. Enjoying all of them. They're all doing different things for me as well. People are saying, Ed, what's the difference between the Boston 9 and the Adizero Pro? I think there are some considerable differences there. The weird one for me though, the one that sticks out is the SL20. Because it's just Light Strike. The other shoes have got a considerable amount of boost in them still. So that one does stick out a little bit. Someone did say to me that there was a video of someone deconstructing the Adizero Pro. If anyone knows where that might be, I really want to check that out and see exactly what's in there. Jimmy's here. He says, should I base my opinion of stack heights on the Nova Blast? No, I wouldn't base your opinion of stack heights on that one. The Nova Blast is a bit of a shoe that's kind of out there on its own. It's in its own little niche, I feel. Yeah, some people love that shoe, some people don't. It's a bit of a Marmite shoe. You either love it on your sourdough bread or you're like, get that out of my house. It's a bit like that. Martin says, where's the merch coming? Merch coming very soon, Martin. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So I will let you guys know. I might do a little bit of a modelling video, you know, when we get hold of it. There's one I've missed there from Thomas. He says, agree with the Adidas shoes, just look stunning. Yeah, they certainly do. You're really hitting the spot for me, Thomas. I'm really loving the colourways on those. Mr. Random says, what would I recommend for a good tempo shoe? I like the Hyperion Tempo. That's a great shoe if you're looking at doing some tempo work. The Run Fast 2, you can pick those up when Adidas have got a deal, really cheap. Those are the two key ones I've been enjoying for tempo runs. John Eaton, he's enjoying the videos. Thank you, John. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. He completed his first half marathon virtual race this morning. 1:27. That's a great time. Adios 4s. Brilliant stuff, John. That's a really good time. Well done. Brilliant. Roadrunner Review says smash that like button. Thanks, buddy. Alan says April to September, yeah, for the 5k. That's right. Richard Rendell just got the Adidas Terex 2. Awesome. That's a trail shoe, I believe, isn't it? Steve A says, whilst Miss Edbud's not around, how many pairs of shoes in the shack? I don't even know. I don't even know, Steve. It's getting a bit out of hand. I've got to clear some of the decks a little bit. There's a few shoes that I'm getting close to 100. I want to try and get those up there and get the 100-mile reviews up so I can move on to some other stuff. Simon says, my Boston 9s came on Tuesday, first run yesterday, and really enjoyed them. Picked up the pace very easily. Pink is an awesome colour. Yeah, I do really enjoy these. I like the lockdown. There was nothing to dislike. In terms of fit, was superb. They're going to make a good training partner, I think, for the Adizero Pro, certainly. But yeah, I had no issues at all. Either of those shoes, really. Perhaps a little bit extra room in terms of material at the very front of the shoe on the Boston 9. Didn't have that issue at all on the Adizero Pro. Absolutely glove-like fit on that one. Alan says looking for a hill sprint companion. Ah, hill sprints. I like hill sprints. We should do that soon, Alan. Yeah, with the Triumph 17, Alan, I think you'll find that's a shoe you'll just soak up those miles, but it's certainly not one I'd really suggest if you're looking to do a PB. It's just going to be one of those shoes to do the training in to get you that PB. Teged Reese says, what's my take on the foam wars? Do you think days of stand DVA and TPU are numbered? Yeah, I know Mizuno have implemented P-backs now as well. A lot of people get really hung up on the whole carbon plate thing. Like, oh, I've got to have a shoe with a carbon plate to race in, all this kind of stuff. When you do the research, some of the scientific and academic papers that have been published, there's a thought that it's the foam that is providing the advantage rather than the plate. Sometimes the plate's there just to provide a bit of stability to the very squashy foam, and I do believe that. I think sometimes at the plate, I think it can probably give you that extra push if you're a very elite athlete, if you're a very able runner. But I think the foam is the key thing there. It's lessening fatigue. I think that's the big one. Gavin Braden's here. Hope you managed to get the small people to bed, Gavin. Kim says SL20 versus Adizero Pro. That will be a video. I think I will pull together a few of the Adidas shoes and do some comparisons there to try and make it a little clearer as to which shoe might be the best for specific types of use. We'll see what we can do with that one. Kurt Steeg says he can't understand how one works for people. Yeah, I tried him, it didn't quite work for me. So Kevin says one of the reviewers said that the Cloud Boom makes the Meta Racer seem like a max cushion shoe. Well, I think I may well avoid that one in that case. Sounds a little bit too firm for my liking. So Adam Small, not a fan, not that keen on the Shift. Not bad shoe, nothing special. Yeah, I'm probably going to pass on that one. Alan says, what's my favourite Star Wars character? Probably Chewie. Chewie's my favourite. I just think he's awesome and fun as well. He's just a fun character. It's kind of like a dog, you know. He's always kind of loving to all of the other characters. I really like Chewie. So Scott McComish says he was complaining of knee pain from the Nova Blast and he changed the insoles and it worked. Awesome. That's what worked for me as well. I switched out the insoles and it seemed to clear it up. Is there going to be a comparison, says Jazzy, between the Boston 9 and the Speed? Definitely. Definitely need to do a comparison of those two. I think, Kevin, that we may have a variation of the logo on the merch. It might not be that exact one, but a variation perhaps. Adam says, Strava Geek coming soon. Yes, I'll be launching that tomorrow, so do watch out for that. I'll launch it in a video, guys, so you can check that one out. Steve A, so who's left to release a carbon plate shoe? I guess we've got the New Balance TC, haven't we? The Fuel Cell TC. The RC is apparently not coming out for a while yet. Of course, the Brooks released the Elite, but I don't think too many people have gone in for that one. I think most people will probably head in for the Elite 2 when that comes up. Might be a little bit more forgiving. Alan says, like, continue running shoes after I've run more than 100 miles. Yeah, there's a few, Alan. Certain stuff that I just really enjoy, I'll kind of hang on to and keep running in. Otherwise, clean them up and get them into the archive so I can keep them ready for comparisons with the next iterations of the shoes. Yeah, I think Wang's right there. The Nike's probably not asleep. I'm quite interested to see what the Tempo Next percent will be like. Although people have said it's close in weight to the Zoom Fly Flyknit. So we're probably talking about 290 grams, something like that in my size. So yeah, we'll have to see about that one. John Eaton says, when's the EDDBUD Strava Challenges in Greek coming? So yeah, hopefully tomorrow, John, I'll launch that one. Kurt Steeg, sorry to see them going down. I'm not sure. Maybe that's... Oh, is that Notts County? Notts County, perhaps. Sharon Jess says, I'm a very non-elite runner and love the Speed. Yeah, I really, really like the Speed. I think the Speed's got some really broad appeal, Sharon, for people of all sorts of different abilities. Well, I love it. I think it's a great shoe. It's a fun shoe. You could run at any pace in that shoe. I really don't think that it's something you just have to put on when you want to run fast. I think you get something out of that shoe at any pace. It doesn't feel clunky or weird running at it at a slower pace. Patrick Fung says an Adidas shoe matrix. I like the sound of that, Patrick. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think I'll do it in my own EDDBUD style though. I've got a little idea for that one. I think I might bring back the waiter. Some of you will remember that one if you've been around the channel for a while. I think the waiter might have to come back. What do we have here? So Alan says, do you think that with the training you've put in, where you could get a 10k time trial close to your road 10k time? Yeah, I don't see why not, Alan. I'll probably do a 10k time trial quite soon, see what I can do. Can't remember what the PB is on there now, like 42:30, something like that, I think. It's not too bad. Can probably knock a bit of time off that now. Yeah, Kev's right. I think I have been talking to Tim quite a bit recently. I think he is doing an Adidas shoe off. The shoe off turned into a bit of a thing, really. It's good stuff, that. That's good stuff. Yes, Simon, so I'll definitely look at comparing the Adidas shoes. I think there's a lot more boost though. I don't know if Martin's still here, but there is a lot more boost in those shoes than people realise. The outer portion here that looks like light strike is really more like a cage surrounding the boost. It's quite interesting. That shoe really did impress me. You know, when you've got expectations of something and sometimes you head into that and it's just nowhere near as good as you want it to be. I didn't have an expectation about that shoe and it was way better than I thought it was going to be, so that's really important sometimes. That's why I don't like to watch too many reviews, or sometimes I will watch no reviews on a shoe, so that when I get it in hand and get it on foot and try it out, my own opinions are being formed rather than having little ideas put in my head. And then I can go back and watch all the reviews that everyone else has done. So it looks like it could be a fall release for the RC. I'm quite interested to try that one, Kurt. I did really enjoy the Fuel Cell TC. It's a very, very squashy shoe, very similar to my initial impression of the Vaporfly 4% Flyknit. But I found it a lot more stable and it mellowed out a lot more than the Vaporfly did as well. Yeah, we're not far off, Kevin, 8k subscribers now. We are not far away. It's quite exciting. Honestly, amazed like how quickly things have moved forward. I'm really pleased, and I'm also very appreciative of all of you that keep coming back and checking the videos out, and also coming over for the live streams, and just the general really nice vibe that there is on the channel and in the comments. I mean, sometimes we do get a few comments that I like to try and I like to try and remove swearing from the comments. If there is something there with swear, I don't want that there. I want it to be a universal thing. I don't want it to be an aggressive place. I want it to be a place where people can share their views in a really reasonable sort of fashion, and not worry that their view might be different and someone gets upset about it. There's been a couple of people in the past where I've had to remove comments, and yeah, I mean, one thing that I won't allow is when there's sort of personal digs at other viewers or other people that are commenting, or me. There's been some personal things about my appearance, and I find it frankly bizarre that you'd even think to say to somebody, like in the street for example, like mock their appearance or tell them how they should speak or dress or look or anything like that. You know, we are what we are. You know, just be open-minded and be accepting of others. It's not hard, you know. I accept that on YouTube, on the internet, there's going to be people that do that, but I'm not the sort of guy that will just sit there and say, carry on. You know, I'll just say, no, goodbye. Don't do that here. That's not what we're about. Roadrunner Reviews is right about the Rocket X. That is coming soon. I know that one is going to be about. Rob Weatherall's managed to get some speeds. Oh yeah. Nice one, Rob. I'm glad you got a pair of those. I know you were after some. I think it was sports shoes, wasn't it? They got some, which is great. So Joe is right there, but the Alpha Fly, I know they've only released them in very small quantities, but that shoe is nuts. Of that 10-mile time trial that I've done, that's still the top shoe, and it's the top by, I wasn't exhausted by any stretch of the imagination. I was running at a specific target pace, but the Alpha Fly is still a very fast shoe. So Joe is right there. Ah, Norwich City. Oh, okay, I've got you now, Kurt. I understand now. Yeah, yeah. Yeovil are typically green and white, so they have introduced yellow bits over the last 16, 17 years into the kit. But yeah, it's predominantly green and white. It used to be stripes this way, and then they switched them up, which makes the players always look a bit shorter, I find. I always used to think that Sheffield Wednesday players were just so much taller because of the stripe orientation. One thing I think, Kevin, that with the Alpha Fly, that they've kind of looked at that technology, and they're obviously implementing that into the Tempo Next Percent, and then they're kind of putting this 4-foot air into the Pegasus. I think they just need a really solid daily shoe. I don't think the Peg 37 is that shoe. I think that other companies are going to get in on their turf a little bit there because of that. I don't think they want to spend too much time just focusing on that. Nick Gaines is here. How you doing, Nick? Alan says he thinks he's lost a bit of speed because there's been no races. Need to get out, do a little work on the speed, do some interval stuff, Alan. Yeah, I think with some of the other YouTubers, you know, I'm a viewer as well. You know, I love watching Seth. I love watching Kafuzi. I think Mike's one of my favourite channels. I really like Andy's channel, the FOD Runner, as well. People like Tim Gross. Tim's a really able runner. You know, he's got some really good opinions and some great experience as well, back through many years of running. So his channel's worth checking out as well. I really enjoy those guys. They've got some really good insight into some of the shoes. I'm sorting out a collab with Andy soon, actually. Could be on the Peg 37. There's absolute massive chat here, so I'm going to just try and pick out some key bits. Nick Gaines, any update on the merch? Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, Nick, we will have some updates on that. Guys will be the first to know. Yeah, Ethan, it is a bit sad that I'm trying to work through and make sure I comment on as many things as I possibly can. That's important to me to try and do that. I will spend maybe half an hour, 45 minutes after the live stream just commenting on some of the stuff from the running news today. Loads of people commenting about marathon cancellations and things like that. But I will try and keep doing that as much as I can. Yeah, I'm really liking the banter and the community feel here, Gavin, certainly. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate your comments there. I really do. Yeah, Kurt Steeg says Yeovil has the hoops now like Celtic. I think the crest has got some yellow on there, but traditionally it's always been very simple, just green and white. They've kind of modernised it quite a bit of recent time. Petra's here. Is just listening and watching. Love it. Glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. And Dan is here. He says, "Hey Ed." Hey Dan. Chris King says, "I need a good daily shoe to throw 400 miles out. What's your recommendations?" The daily shoe, 400 miles. Let him know, guys, what you think in there. I think you've got quite a few suggestions already. What should Chris go for? 400 miles. Daily shoe. I wouldn't recommend the Nova Blast. I can't recommend the 37 right now. and I don't think you'll get quite that much out of the SL20. Maybe the Bostons. If you can pick up a cheaper version, maybe the Boston 8 with the light strike, that could be a good deal, as Dan mentions there. Mark Smith says he's lost a bit of everything but can't blame the lockdown. I've got to be honest, guys, the lockdown is, we've been eating a lot better. I mean, Miss EDDBUD cooked up some incredible stuff just now. It was beautiful, with pasta with some cheese sauce she made from the top. So there was some mozzarella in there, some cheddar, we had some spinach, some eggs. Oh, it was beautiful. And we had some Quorn chicken pieces, chopped them all up and put that in there. It was amazing. Miss EDDBUD is an absolute gem, gotta say. I was starving as well. I was famished. It's all the running. 30 miles this week, another 7 or 8 tomorrow. Easier day Saturday, and then the long run in the Bostons. It's going to be the long run in the Boston 9 on Sunday. They'll see me coming, that's for sure. I have to try not to run near too many fields of bulls or anything. They might chase me down. Oh, what a beautiful shoe that is. Adidas, who really, I mean, really nailed it with that one. They don't come any more beautiful than that. Even the special EDDBUD colourway of the 37, it's just not as good. It pales in comparison to the Boston 9. It really does. Joe says, ignore the haters. I deal with online communities daily. One needs a thick skin. Yeah, it's true. Some people, they just like to sort of extinguish your party. That's the nicest way I can put it. But hey, that's, you know, I've got a brass neck, Joe. From being a performer, you know, you're putting your art out there all the time, and you've just got to say, look, I've done my best. As long as you know you've done your best, you've done 100, you put 100% in. That's all you can ever do. And if you keep doing that, then the people that matter will enjoy it. I know it. Joe, send me some details over on the email so that I can put a section into one of the coming videos about your community to help you promote that. I'm more than happy to do that for you, buddy. You promote my channel so much. You really do. You're such a good supporter. So let me help you out. Do hook me up in the email with some details. Rob, you're right. There was at just a few moments ago almost 100 people there, which is fantastic. I'm really pleased at that. I need to get on the case here with some of the chat. Yeah, Gavin, I remember that Seth James Moore video, the marathon. It was really interesting. Yeah, as you say, getting to the actual start line of some of those things is actually pretty tough in itself. That can be a really difficult thing to do. Ash says, what are my top 3 films? I would suggest Napoleon Dynamite. John Heder is superb in that, and I think that's quite an underrated film. There is an undertone there of being an outcast, of having this sort of small group of friends, and I was kind of like Napoleon when I was younger. I was a bit like that. I really love that film. I've got a whole heap of Christmas films that I love, that I really enjoy. Other than that, what are my other favourite films? I love Wayne's World. That's a great film. Let's say it's my favourite film. Let me think about that one for a bit, Ash. There's so many that I really enjoy. Star Wars has got to be in there. Episode 4 of Star Wars is right up there. Nick Gaines says, going into a senior year for cross country, it starts back up in August. Awesome. Yeah, I do occasionally watch the running channel, Alan. There's some good stuff on there. Sebastian Z likes the music talks. Yeah, I really love my music, Sebastian. I love just letting you guys know what I've been listening to. At the moment, a lot of Neil Young, and I've been listening to a lot of Mac DeMarco as well. I love Mac DeMarco's stuff. His last album, Here Comes the Cowboy, that's a really great tune. Preoccupied, that is a beautiful song, really beautiful song. And Idols I've been listening to as well. Really enjoying Idols right now. Kurt Steeg, that's a good suggestion. The 1080 V10, yes, you'll get lots of miles into those if they work for you, as you say. Alan, do I ever sing whilst running? No, I just concentrate on the old breathing. I do occasionally air drum while I'm running though. If I'm feeling really great about everything, I'll just start air drumming. If I'm listening to Fontaine's DC or the Fratellis or someone like that, I'll do a bit of air drumming. Rob says Turbo T's Last Ages. That's not a bad shout for the shoe. 1080. Everyone's saying 1080. I think that's a good bet. Rob Kappa says the Peg 36 is an awesome daily shoe. Yeah, I really enjoyed the 35 and the 36. Really great shoes. Maybe up to like 10 miles. I didn't really like the 36 too far after that. It was a little bit too firm of a shoe. I say that the 37 is, yeah. I'll delay the rest of my opinions on the 37 until I got to 100 miles. Yeah, as you say, Joe, I think that everybody has their own kind of opinion and their own feel. Everybody's got their own running style, just slight differences. And I think that some stuff works for some people and not others. Some people get very upset when you suggest, you know, I'm always very honest with my views. There's no point me saying this shoe's great if I didn't think it was great, if it didn't work for me. But I try to look beyond that and suggest that it could work for other people with a different running style to me. Different height, different weight, different foot strike. You've got to try and think of all those different things. And it is quite tough sometimes. You've got to think of, you know, running 10 miles in someone else's shoes, as it were. If that makes any sense at all. Hopefully it makes some sort of sense. Sebastian says, how do you handle when you are in overtraining? I think you mean maybe how do you know? If I'm feeling particularly fatigued, I'll just do maybe 3 easy miles, just super slow pace, just to get out there and just get the legs moving a little bit, get the brain engaged. That really helps in the morning sometimes, and then just call it a day for the rest of the day. Vote for Pedro. Party time, excellent. Yeah, I've kind of always wanted to have that sort of vibe. I think as the channel grows, it'll be more of a Wayne's World sort of vibe. That's kind of what we got right now. You know, I'm in a small room surrounded by shoes and guitars and stuff like that. So I can have a guitar set up, and that'll be good. So that's kind of the way it's going. Andre is in the house. Good evening. How you doing? There's a huge number of things here. Yeah, Steve A, I think you're right about the Boston 9s. They are like a salmon leaping out of the water. They do look a little bit like that. The weird thing is, with the Takumi Sen, apparently that's supposed to be the same colour. But as you can see, it's not anywhere near the same. I don't know. They're supposed to be the same. But they clearly aren't. So, Lucas says, how high am I? How tall am I? So I am 6'3". I have absolutely no idea what that is in centimeters. I've turned off all my gadgets at the moment, so I can't quickly have a look. I mean, I guess I could look on here quickly. Let's see if I can do this. So it's about. That's not right. That's not come out right. If someone can figure that out for me, that would be good. I'm not too sure. You know, I just bump my head on things all the time, and I have to use my knees all the time because I'm terrible at just sort of bending over and picking things up, like guitar amplifiers and stuff like that. What I'm trying to find, Alan, is that with shoes, my right foot is a little longer. So I actually measured them up, and to see if there's some sort of similarity. If there's about, I think it's about 5mm additional length in my right foot, which puts me right at the very edge of Nike's 11. So I tend to go up to an 11.5. In Adidas and New Balance, I got to do that. When I got the Rebel, I got it in an 11, and it was okay, but I just wished I had a little bit of extra room. Andrea, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, loves the new logo. Did I make it on my own? No, it was a viewer who was very kindly offered to do some design work for me, and it is absolutely on point. It is incredible. I had a really good meeting with them. I had a bit of a chat and a discussion, and they've been fantastic. I will post some information about that viewer, and in case anybody's after some design work, I'm sure they'd probably be able to help you out. So thank you, Andre, for the super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Petra says, play something for us. When I've got some guitars set up around here, I've got guitars everywhere, but when I've got something set up with an amp, I'll see what I can do. I have been working on a theme tune track for the running news. It's really catchy, in fact, so catchy that I can't get rid of it from my head. So that'll be coming up soon, and you can hear me in action, playing all the instruments. Yeah, as Kurt says there, I agree that most people have different sized feet. Now, Dan, it's a really interesting thing you've said there, that you find the Boston's orange. I think they look kind of different to everybody. I know it's down a signal pink, isn't it? But everybody seems to see it in a different way. If you take pictures of it, perhaps on your phone, on different cameras, mirrorless cameras and things, even just by sight, everybody thinks they look different. So it's really odd. There's one person having a go at me about colour correction on my videos, and I'm just like, I've got to use a neutral colour profile on the camera. I switch it back, so it's this very sort of neutral one that I can literally just bring some of the brightness up, and yeah, I haven't changed anything. It's just, that's the way it looks. Soti says Indiana Jones. I do like the Indiana Jones films as well. Maybe apart from episode 4, that one was a bit of a disappointment. I think it was just a bit weird, a bit too weird. But I do like those. I do especially like the Back to the Future trilogy. That is a fantastic set of films. Really, really do enjoy those films. Oh, Martin, thanks so much, buddy, for the super chat. I really do appreciate that, my friend. It is so kind of you. It's so kind of you. Martin, a real supporter of the channel. Thanks very much, buddy. Martin, am I right in saying, are you in Armenia? Let me know where you are. I think you said Armenia before. It's really, really kind of you on that super chat. Thank you. Adam Small says, the video theme song, did you make the theme yourself? Do you mean the piece at the start? It's actually a YouTube free to use thing, and the reason I picked it ties in with what I just said about Back to the Future. The track itself, I think, must be based on Johnny Be Good, which is obviously the track played by Marvin and the Starlighters, Marvin Berry and the Starlighters in the first, well, Back to the Future 1 and 2. And of course Marvin Berry is supposed to be like Chuck Berry's cousin, and the track itself is called Marvin's Dance. So there we go, a little tie in there. It's very strange you mentioned that. Lucas says he's got to use his knees all the time. Yeah, I have to do that all the time. I forget. Philip says, what separates EVA, TPU and other foams? Well, the thing is that Peback stuff, in the Vaporfly and in the Mizuno stuff and in the Reebok stuff, it's been around a while, but I think they've just stumbled across a specific use for it that has really opened up the shoe game. You know, over the past couple of years, Nike releasing that Vaporfly, it's just blown everything out the water, and people have had to really up the game. It's not just good enough to have some EVA midsole now. You need a little something else there. Run Tommy says, why do you play Anchors Away as buffer music? I just think it's awesome. I really like the whole Anchors Away thing. It's sort of like I'm sailing off into the sunset, and it's the end of the video. I just think it kind of works. It's kind of ridiculous, but I think it works. Mark says, first time here viewing this live, finally got off from work in time. Awesome, buddy. Thanks, Mark. I hope you had a great day at work. Mark Smith says, have I ever thought about playing my guitar during a race? There's a trail runner that has played the accordion. Oh, that's nuts, man. That is nuts. I love it. I haven't ever thought about that. Most of the guitars I've got now are quite high-end instruments. I'm not sure I'd want to take any of them out. Maybe if I could get hold of something a little cheaper, I could maybe do that. I can't imagine a guitar's going to keep bashing against your ribcage though. I think it'd probably be a little bit uncomfortable. HJVZ says, you also love the Blues Brothers. I've lost it. Where is it? Yeah, I do like the Blues Brothers as well. It's a good film. Jay prefers the Back to the Future trilogy rather than the Star Wars trilogy. Oh, I like the original trilogy of Star Wars. I really liked Solo as well. That was a good film. I really enjoyed that one. Solid Midpack says, have you ever run in Ultras? I've got some Ultras on the way, so I will be running those soon. Abzi says about the OnCloud Boom, I'm probably going to miss those. They just sound way too hard for me, too firm. Yeah, Soti, I really do like the Mandalorian. That was great. I enjoyed that an awful lot. That was very good. Lucas says, seem like a really lovely dude. Thanks, buddy. My real name is Ed Budzinski. So Ed Bud. I don't know why there's two D's. It just kind of happened that way. I'm not entirely sure. Most things for me kind of become what they need to be, as it were. Ash with the super chat. Thanks very much, buddy. I much appreciate that. It's really kind of you to help the channel out with that. That will go into those Ultras probably that are on the way, and the Clifton 7. I wasn't supposed to say that. I was going to be a surprise. Never mind. Maxio says, after reading the live stream chat, I think he's going to start a movie marathon instead of training for his marathon. I think we've got to watch the end of Back to the Future 3. So when I finish the live stream, I'm going to head down, and Mrs. EDDBUD and I are going to finish watching that one. So we've just got a few minutes left of the live stream, guys. I know Mike Kafuzi, my good buddy, the shoe sensei, is going to be in the house with his live stream, so I don't want to step on his toes. I know a lot of you will want to head over and across to Mike's live stream too. So we will wrap things up shortly. Let's see if what we've got here. Lucas says that I should start listening to something called Bardcore music after this. Trust me, you'll love it. Okay, I'll check that out, Lucas. I'll tell you what, one of my favourite films I've remembered now is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I really, really love that film. There's something amazing about it. I remember when I went to watch it, I was the only person in the cinema, in the screen. The only person watching it, and it had a really profound effect on me. And I think it's a really awesome take on sort of love and like past relationships, and how you should try and remember the good things about those things. It's not all bad sometimes. Sometimes there are bad things in relationships, but I think it's cool to remember the good things, and you shouldn't just sort of push them away and forget about all that stuff. Dan says, will there be a Boston versus SL20 versus Adizero Pro? Yeah, I'm going to try and do a review or a comparison of those shoes. I might group them together a little bit more though. I feel that there are some specific groupings there to try and explain what the differences are. Thomas says he's been wondering whether it was Ed or Ed. Yeah, some people call me Ed with one D, other people write it with two. But if I've let Miss EDDBUD down, I'm Edward. So you know, and my mum occasionally says that as well, and it's like I've let myself down here. I've forgotten to do something, or yeah, I'm in the bad books. It's not very often though with Miss EDDBUD. She's awesome. Yeah, Salty, I guess it could mean buddy, you know, it could mean that. Yep, the double feature, EDDBUD, then the Kafuzi live stream. I expect Mike's getting ready now. Right guys, I'm going to draw this one to a close now. We're just getting near the end there. I'd like to say thanks to all the super chats there. Thanks for all of you for joining us in the chat. I think we almost got near 100 viewers at one point, which is a bit of a record for the channel and for the live stream. So thanks for joining us today. There'll be another video up tomorrow. So I'll have some information on that one regarding the EDDBUD Strava group. So do watch out for that, and thanks for tuning in. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you.